Hey there, my Tyler Perry Sisters fans. It's your girl Barbie J here. And we had a very interesting episode of Sisters this evening, season 6, episode 4, Face the Fire. I don't see nobody facing the fire. I guess the only person gonna be facing some fire is Zach when he get home tonight. But before we get started with my little recap and review of this episode, let's not forget to subscribe to Barbie J's channel, like the video, comment on the video, and share the video. So we got subscribe, like, comment, and share. And y'all all know the like button is that thumbs up button. Anyway, let's get started. So it starts off with Pam at the law firm, and she's telling Zach, Andy, and Fatima that Karen is dead. But they're like, what? They don't understand. What are you talking about? What? And then she tells what she knows. And Zach's like, nah, it can't be, can't be. And he runs off and said, I'm going to the salon. Okay, so yes, he left Fatima there, but Fatima was consoling Pam. And then she had to console Andy as well. Okay, so then we know that Zach drove there in his car. So Fatima, it looks like Fatima gets them in her car. She said, I'll drive them there. So she does drive there. And it's so funny how they have this happening. Pam's in the back seat crying. Andy's in the front seat asking her to speed up and hurry up. Like, I don't know. She said, I'm driving as fast as I can. And then Pam gonna go and go, you're not driving as fast as Zach? What the hell? Why would you say that? That is so messy, Pam. That was messy, messy, messy. There was no need for that comment to come out of between your lips when you sitting there telling them Aaron's blaming you for everything because you left the freaking curling irons on. So you trying to throw somebody else under a bus for something. It was just like, I don't know. I don't know where that came out of her mouth or why, but it was ridiculous. And then they want to know why is Aaron there and why. She said Aaron was in the car with her when she pulled up. No, Aaron was on the phone with you when you saw the salon. She didn't say that. It sounded like she said Aaron was in the car with her when she pulled up. So that made no sense. Then Andy immediately jumped on her when she said, you burned down my friend's salon. That's all she had because I left the curling iron on. So Andy jumped on her about that as well. Then she's like, I gotta call the girls. First she said, oh, about Miss Lisa, but she said I didn't call because Aaron said to wait. Aaron said to wait to find out more stuff. Okay, cool. But then you went there and told them she died without you waiting. You still didn't wait. It was like, really? So anyway, then Andy's got Fatima calling her friends. Danny is so difficult. How many times somebody got to say, meet us at the salon? Why? Meet me at the salon. What's going on? Meet me at the salon. You're scaring me. Meet us. Just meet us at the salon. Well, just meet at the damn salon. Why is all of that? Is Andy there? Yes. Let me talk to Andy. If she's there telling her, she said, is she crying? Oh, I was like, oh my God. This was an emergency, but if it was a real emergency, she done wasted about 30, 40 seconds with the back and forth, back and forth. It was like, damn it, Danny, just meet at the damn salon. Oh God. Then we got this stupid scene with Logan and Q. Really, Logan? You know, somebody said, why didn't they just have him a detective? Because he's supposed to be a human trafficker cop or something like that. Now all of a sudden he's dealing with bank robberies, and it's so stupid it makes no sense. So he saw the surveillance of Q getting out of Maurice's car and got a gun and all of this stuff. So actually, Maurice could really report him and get him put back in jail. But Maurice so busy being stupid and making visits there and threatening him without even recording it. Without even recording. I don't know how you're going to get a confession. That man could say all he want, but you didn't record it, so it's still your word against his, right? But anyway, Logan's sitting there going, those people, and I was wrong, y'all. I thought he was talking about the real bank robbers. I thought he was talking about the surveillance from the bank. Why didn't he see the surveillance from the bank? The bank does have surveillance cameras. But you saw the surveillance from the airport. Makes no sense, does it? So Logan is sticking with this whole thing that Sabrina and Maurice did it because of that weak confession or whatever. And he calls Q out on his pain that he not really hurt up as bad as he acting. He need to get his butt back to work and stuff, threatening him, saying I should have the DA rescind this and I should do this. Come on. And he got marijuana in his system. All of this stuff. This is supposed to be your witness. And wait, he got a promotion because of this. How you get a promotion before they're convicted? You got them arrested and everything, but they weren't convicted of anything. There was no trial. You know, it's like, how do you get a promotion because you caught two innocent people and put them in jail? It makes no sense to me. Really, TP, what are you doing here? So he tells Q that the nurse already told him that he's okay. He need to get his butt back to work. And I was like, this is so dumb. So then we have this scene with Sabrina and Bio. They come back to her apartment and Maurice comes in there. And Maurice is trying to thank him for what he did for him. But, you know, he's being silly and calling him Mr. Prince and I love your music and all of this stuff. And Bio's kind of short with him. And even when Maurice says that, he said, is that a joke about my height? But he's like, no, I was just trying to, thank you for what you've done for me. He said, I did it for Sabrina. Well, and then Maurice gets close and said, thank you for what you've done for us anyway. And he's like, is there something else you want? And Maurice is like, well, I just wanted to thank you. And Sabrina's like, Bio, like you're being rude. He said, no, he's being rude and stuff. And Maurice thinks he knows what the problem is. And he's like, I am not interested in Sabrina, and I still don't know how anyone would be. And that's where, see, you start joking around, and you need to just be serious at this point because you see homeboy's attitude, how it is. And he goes, I prefer penis. And I'm like, why did you have to say that? Why couldn't you just say, I'm not interested in women, I like men, or whatever it is. But you had to be derogatory, penis, whatever. And he's like, you're disgusting. That's what Bio told him. He's disgusting. And, he wanted Sabrina to make him leave and said, if he doesn't leave, I'm going to leave. And so Bio went out. And Maurice let Sabrina know that Bio's homophobic. And he probably is because he did have a problem with it earlier. When Sabrina first was asking him about the money, Bio tried to pretend that it wasn't about his sexuality. Remember, if y'all remember back to that episode when Sabrina was getting the money from Bio, he did have a little issue, it seemed like, with Maurice's sexuality, but he claimed that it wasn't, that he didn't or something like that. Then Maurice let Sabrina know that he went over to the hospital and saw Q, and she told him, I told you to leave him alone, and he's not going to confess to you. And Maurice thinks he could get him to confess, but what's the use in getting him to confess if you're not recording it? Hello, dumb Maurice. Anyway, that's when Sabrina notices all these missed calls. She calls, gets Danny on the phone, and she starts with Danny's like, just meet us at the salon. What's going on? I don't know. Just meet at the salon. Why are you going to the salon? Just meet. Why can't y'all just do what is asked of you? Go to the daggone salon. All these damn questions, it's like you ain't got nothing else to do. You don't have a job. Just meet her at the damn salon. Anywho, Maurice and Sabrina leave and they go to the salon. At the salon, we have Aaron and Gary talking about Gary trying to find out what's going on, what Aaron knows. Then Zach shows up asking, is Karen there? What's going on? And then here comes Andy and Fatima. And I guess Pam is with them, but they don't show her at first. And it's this whole, everybody's talking and it's back and forth. And Zach is like, I got to know if she's in there. Zach is yelling, Karen, at the thing. Fatima sees this. He's acting crazy. Then Danny shows up, wants to know what's going on. They attack Pam because Aaron tells them that Pam left the curling iron on or whatever. And that's why Karen was coming back to cut him off. And he's like, how could you do that? Danny gets on Pam. I'm just like, wow, all of y'all are good at getting on somebody. But when people get on y'all can't take it. What's up with that? Then we got Zach trying to go into the place, and Aaron and Gary is stopping him, saying you can't go in there, till the medical examiners come and figure it out. And then Zach is like, oh, I gotta get in there. I gotta find out what's going on. This is crazy. And they like, Aaron comes out of his face. Oh, now you care. Now you care, huh? When it's too late, now you care. Zach is like, what? And Gary's looking at him like, dude, why you gotta say that? And Zach is like, I will F you up. It's like, And then Andy yells, stop it. All of y'all, all this arguing, you're not helping. But Aaron's coming out his face, and he it's just ridiculous. All of this is going on. And my thing is, when Karen does show up, you don't see Aaron running over there hugging her and stuff like that. We didn't see Aaron hug her at all. That was weird to me. But all of a sudden, how did Preston show up? Preston showed up and was there with his little bright orange shirt on in time to hug Danny. Who was it? Calvin showed up because what is her name? Sabrina called him. He showed up. At some points, Gary and Andy were hugging, but Andy was mostly hugging Fatima, and Fatima's eyes kept looking at Zach the whole time. It was crazy. Them eyes kept cutting over there at him. I was like, oh my God, Zach, roll it back, baby, roll it back. I know you had all these years with Karen and you still got love for her, but you was doing a little bit too much, baby. So now I understand, Fatima, how she was looking and his behavior, and she feeling some kind of way. I do truly understand right now. So anyway, the medical examiners come. They come through. They come back out and confirm that there's a dead body in there. I think that's when they said it was an older gentleman or something. No, they didn't say who it was yet, who the person was. But my thing is, everybody is hugging somebody. I don't know if I said this already. Gary has Andy. Calvin got Sabrina. Preston showed up. He's with, what's the name? Danny. Why didn't Fatima go over to Zach? Yeah, Zach is over there going all crazy and everything. But to me, like I said, if I didn't say this already, she should have went over there and showed him love and just let him know, I'm here for you. I know you feel this way for Karen. But to me, she should have gone over there. They all went over to their people who are tight with Karen. I just felt like Fatima should have went over to Zach. That's all I'm going to say about that right now. Like I said, I understand her feelings, but if she'd have gone over there and give him some compassion and hug, at least he would have been holding on to her. Even if he was sad about Karen, he knows that his fiance is understanding and there for him while he go through this. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, they're saying somebody need to call Miss Lisa, and nobody wants to call, and then Zach volunteers and he calls. But Aaron is telling him not to call. We don't even know if that's, Karen in there or not. And he's like, she needs to know. He said, shut the F up, Aaron. You don't know nothing about this. This is family. And Fatima's looking like, okay. But what I thought was funny also is when was that Preston and Danny, and he was like, you should sit down. She said, I don't want to sit down. I don't want to sit down or whatever. He said, okay. And Gary comes over there like, my man, maybe you need to let her work it out her way. He looked at Gary like, what? And even Danny looked at Gary like, what? It was like, he said, I got this. Don't worry about it. I got this. I said, oh shit. Preston like, yo, zip it, bro. You don't even know me. Stop. I was like, damn, that was funny. And Gary closed his mouth and turned around and stepped. So then the medical examiner come out and let them know that the victim is deceased, and they're crying and stuff. And next thing you know, Karen come walking through them and say, what is going on? Look at this. Talk about her shop. And everybody's standing there like, what? What? She's alive? And all of a sudden, Zach busts through and said, oh my God. And he's hugging her, and Fatima's looking, and everybody's looking and seeing this. He was like, don't worry. We finding out Karen didn't have insurance. Pam was like, you didn't have insurance? Now that I'm really surprised at. That is just ridiculous news that you have a business and don't have any insurance when you're so concerned with Pam turning off that damn Caroline, how did you not have insurance on the place? And Zach's like, don't worry about it. I'm going to help you rebuild. And he's holding her and everything. And Fatima is looking like, what the bleepity bleep bleep? But everybody's seeing it. And they finally push him away. And the sisters all hug and stuff. And I guess Fatima bounced at that point, you know. And so they all decide to separate. The girls was going one way. The guys are like, what about us? And they left them, and Pam is standing there with them. And then Pam said something to Zach about what was going on. Oh, no, that's when they found out. I'm sorry, I forgot. They met Lewis. Lewis is the one who got Karen out of the fire and took her to the hospital. And he said he was next door feeding the homeless and everything. So he was next door with his shop. And then he said he feeds the homeless. So they hang out behind the shop. And that's when the medical examiner said that's where the fire started. It started there and it went up to the ceiling or whatever else, he said. So, and they found out it was an older gentleman who died in the fire. So he might have been the one who started it, but it was started at the back door and it wasn't Pam. And then Zach was carrying, I forgot, while he was hugging Karen, Karen said a girl got to almost die to get love, to show love. And Zach said, oh, come on, you know we all love you. And that's basically what it was. They all love her, you know. I don't think he's showing any extra love than he would if that was Fatima, you know. So the sisters go and have a drink or wherever they're going, leave the guys there. Pam's there with the guys, and she makes this big announcement that Zach is in trouble or whatever, and it's telling him that Fatima, when she saw Karen show up, she jumped in a ride share. Why would you say that? Fatima drove her car there. Why would she jump into a ride share? So TP, get those lines right. Get the lines right in your script, because there was no need for her to get into a ride share if she drove her car there. Okay? So let's get that. Unless, little Miss Pam is messing up her lines, which I wouldn't be surprised at that either. Anyway, then she goes off on him. She goes off on Aaron, talking about all of y'all. She's saying stuff about all of them. And then they didn't go ask for a ride. They were like, seemed like she need to get her a ride share. I said, oh, shoot. I said, hear you. So it was what? Calvin. It was Calvin. Who was left? Gary, Preston, Calvin, Maurice. I'm missing somebody. Oh, Aaron. That's who else is left. Aaron. And what I don't get is why Pam says she need a ride to her car. She drove up to the salon. So why do you need a ride to your car? You walked right over. I'm just like, somebody's messing up their lines somewhere. But then it switches over to Pam at home chilling. And what's his name? Aaron calls and apologizes, that saying he was hard on her, and apologized for blaming her and all this stuff. And she ain't trying to hear it. She don't care. She's like, you blamed me for everything. He said, I know. And she was telling him the only way she was going to forgive him, he had some diamonds along with that. He said, well, that ain't going to happen. Well, she's like, she ain't trying to forgive him right now. And yada, yada. And that was that with them, those two. Then we go over to Fatima and Angela sitting at a bar. And Fatima's trying to let Angela know what went down, what happened, what Zach did, how she was feeling, and everything. And I was pretty shocked to see how Angela was handling what Fatima was saying, how she felt, because she said, what did Zach do now? And she told him, the way he left her and went over to Karen when he found out that, she thought she had died, that she was dead. And Angela's trying to let her know, Fatima, let me play devil's advocate right now, but he thought she had died, And she's like, I know. She said, and he was with her for 3 years. And she's like, no, I know, but I don't know. It's just the way he did it. And she was like, remember how you were with Ian, when you found out he was sick with cancer. And she said, but I wasn't in love with him, Ian. She said, exactly, but you still had feelings for him. And you feel, basically you still had some compassion and caring. I said, but what she didn't say is, and what Fatima need to realize, he's still thinking Karen is carrying his child. Remember, they wanted her to sign those papers. He thinks Karen, so that's his child dead too. If Karen was dead, you know what I mean? So Fatima didn't factor that in, especially with them just coming back from seeing his son the way he was. So then Fatima's asking, am I being petty? And then all of a sudden, Angela's telling no, she's not being petty. You know, have your feelings, feel what you're feeling. But she was saying, I felt abandoned. And she's like, well, did you tell Zach that? She said, because I know how you feel. You don't like that feeling of being abandoned. So I'm wondering, did her parents abandon her or something when she was younger? Because she did say Fatima was raised by her grandmother or something like that. But I don't know what that abandoned thing means. They were saying she doesn't like that feeling. But Angela did say it's good that you're processing all of your feelings now. So when you go and talk to Zach, and she was like, she didn't want to have to talk to Zach about that being the biatch who didn't care that his ex died, you know, or whatever. You know, because that's the way it looks. But to me, like I said, Fatima should have ran over there and held him and been there for him. Now, if he would have pushed her off, that would have been different. Now that would have been different. But her holding him would have showed him that I'm here for you. I know that's your ex, but I'm here for you. Lay on my chest, lay on my shoulder, hold me. You know what I mean? But she never went over to him. And I think if tables were turned, she would have wanted Zach to come over and, you know, hold her or something. I'm just saying. I feel that would have had a big impact on the way Zach was behaving. And then it ends with the girls at the penthouse smoking and getting high. They're getting high with Danny's pen and they're drinking wine. And then they get into this whole conversation about how Zach was behaving. And you know Danny was taking the lead on that and how he was acting. And did you see Fatima's face? And everybody seemed to have been paying attention. Y'all all supposed to be grieving, but y'all all saw Fatima's face and everybody was looking at Fatima. And Karen was sitting there going, she probably was hoping I was dead. And, you know, Andy was like, no, she wasn't. You know, Sabrina was like, I don't think so, you know. But, you know, I mean, her look on her face, you know, Fatima's face was like, I am pissed right now. So, of course, y'all know Andy wanted to change the subject because she's friends with, you know, Fatima. And Karen started with that, that's your best friend now, you know, your best friend. And she's like, we're all friends. Let's not. And they smoking that thing, getting high. Andy forgot where she was in her own apartment. She was like, well, let me get up and go home. And they was like, sit your butt down. You are home. This is your place. She looking around. Like, Lord, she ain't used to doing that. But why y'all going to do that in front of Karen when y'all know Karen can't smoke? So y'all got that smoke around her. She pregnant. You're drinking around her. She can't drink. And y'all supposed to be celebrating her. You know, y'all celebrating that she's alive. And y'all doing everything in front of her. But I'm telling you, they were discussing how they never want to go through that again. And Sabrina was like, I think I know what Sabrina was trying to say. Like, I hope that we'll all die together. Because she don't want one of them to die and then they all have to grieve that one person. If they all go together, they don't have to worry about one of them being left, you know, to grieve the other ones. I think that's what she was trying to get at. They were just kind of shutting her down with that craziness that she was saying. Because it sounded crazy, though. So then Karen did make a comment like something like tragedy or death or something, that people's true feelings come out, whatever. I don't know. But Andy was telling everybody they had to go because all Danny wanted to talk about was Zach and Fatima want to be a fly on the wall in their house when he got home and all this stuff. And Andy said, well, let's change the subject and let's talk about what was Calvin and Preston doing there. And they was like, yeah, because see, Calvin and Preston don't have nothing invested in Karen, you know, so why were they there? And then, you know, Danny didn't really want to talk about it, but she did say that he left that girl at the hotel and came and talked to her and stuff, you know. And then Karen said she would change the subject. And she let them know that when she was in the hospital, basically, when she was in the hospital, her doctor came by to check on her and she let her know who the father is. So she didn't let her know who the father is. I don't think she did a DNA test. Maybe she did do a DNA test. We'll find out next week if that's what it was. Or maybe she gave her a better idea of the date of conception. I don't know if that was it or what. But hopefully we'll find out next week. But that's how it all went down. Y'all let me know down in the comment section how y'all felt about this episode. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Like, that's the thumbs up button. Comment and share. And I'll see you guys in the next video. It's your girl Barbie J saying peace.